Hello, everyone. I am Pastor Quay, and I'm here with another Bible Talk Wednesdays video. We have been in Esther, and we have already went over Esther chapter 1 and 2, and we know that God is building up a scene. For those of us who already read Esther, we know that God is building up a scene. The first chapter, we talked about how Queen Vashti, she got banished because of her disobedient. And in chapter 2, we talked about the process that Esther went through in order to be chosen as queen. Now we're in chapter 3. We're going off Esther a little bit just to build up some background or build up the scene a little bit more, add more impact to what Esther had to deal with and what position she was in. So, chapter 3 talks about how now the king name is pronounced differently depending on the version you're in. It means the same, but I'm going to go with the version of Xerxes. That's the best I got. I don't know how to pronounce the other one. So, King of Xerxes, he's the king. He's promoted Haman, which was one of his officials, and he promoted him to a greater role where he has more authority and power. When he was promoted, everybody bowed down to him because now he's like very powerful. So everybody bows down to him, except for Mordecai. If you have been following along, you know that Mordecai is Esther's uncle. Mordecai is Esther's uncle. And he's had taken care of Esther and got her into um prepared for this, well, put her into the process to be um elected as the next queen. So he's the uncle, he's family. So Mordecai, and he's also known for being outside the gate, watching out, um, and overhearing two guards trying to kill the king. And he reported this to Esther, who then reported it to the king. So this got him some favor in the house. Okay. So Mordecai, um, he's not unknown to the king. Okay. So Mordecai at this point did not bow down to Haman. And when he did not bow down, this made Haman very angry. Not only so that Haman's servant for a couple of days trying to figure out why Mordecai did not bow to Haman. He never said a word. But guess what? The servants went back to Haman and said, Mordecai didn't bow down because he's a Jew, and they supposed to spill some dirt about the Jews to Haman, and this makes Haman real angry, and he decided that he didn't just want to kill Mordecai, but he wanted to kill all the Jews. So Haman went to the king and he says, hey, there's this sort of people who follow their own rules. They do not listen to the king's command because Mordecai didn't listen to Haman. Didn't bow down to Haman, which was a command. So he said the Jews did not follow the king's command, and they are not, basically, there are people that can't be trusted and should be gotten rid of. And he told the king that I'll give you some money, he'll give him some stuff to let him do it. Well, we all know that the king is very big on obedience, okay, to him. We know that because he banished his own queen, Vashti, his wife, because she was disobedient. So Haman took this to the king, and now the king is in agreement with Haman. Now, it's something we don't know that I'm gonna point out. Remember Esther from chapter 2. Esther is a Jew, but nobody knows in the kingdom that Esther is a Jew because Mordecai led her to hide her identity. Okay. So nobody knows that the queen herself is Jew. So that's the scene God is building. He's building it up now. And not only that, the king favored Esther, knowing that Esther is obedient. Okay, let's think about that. I'm just going to point that out. The king chose Esther because of her obedience to the unit and and how she followed the rules and things like that. And this made her stand apart because of how obedient she was. This made her stand apart. So this is something I just wanted to point out from chapter 2. That's just what it talked about. And so she won favor because of that. But Haman got the king all upset and, agreeing with him. And now is a decree to where now everybody knows that all the Jews is going to be killed on a certain day that was coming up. So now you have the people all perplexed, is what the Bible has said. They all confused and discombobulated because they're trying to figure out like what happened, what caused this to happen, and all this stuff. And it's about to be some stuff to go down that's coming up soon. So this is a scene that was built. Now, when I think of Mordecai and then how he stood in his belief that he didn't bow to Haman, when he didn't bow to him, and he didn't bow because his own beliefs and his own values, and it was probably some things that he knew about Haman that he just did not agree with, that he felt like he was undeserving of the role or whatever the case may be, but it was because of his belief. And now with Mordecai never said why he didn't bow. But we can assume because he was Jew, he did not bow. But here's the thing that caught me off, that surprised me. Mordecai didn't say a word of why he didn't bow. And this reminded me of Jesus too. When Jesus, before he was being crucified, and the Romans came and they're asking him all this stuff about what he was doing, who he is, and all this kind of stuff. He did not speak a word, and it made the people even more angry. And they still crucified him. He did not, he didn't try to um save itself for anything. So it reminds me of the actions that Jesus took. But Mordecai didn't say a word. He just let it play out. And one thing that I like about Mordecai is Mordecai had a relationship. You can tell by the things that Mordecai did and how he moved and how Esther got where she was, that Mordecai had a relationship with God. And that's one thing with us is when we have a relationship with God, there's things that we have insight on that sometimes we can't even just spill out. We can't even talk about it because sometimes people don't even understand or won't understand if God hadn't revealed it to them. So Mordecai knew something. God revealed some things to him that he did not reveal to us. That he didn't know. He knew he was making moves like Jesus do. Like Jesus was doing every move he made, it prepared him for to be crucified so he can give his life for a reason. And everything that Mordecai was doing, you could tell that he had a relationship because every move was strategic. Everything that he did was strategic because he believed in God and because he had a relationship with God. One thing that I do want to talk about in this Bible Talk video is because we have relationship with God, there's going to be favor that fall on our lives. But the same favor that we have, the enemy is going to try to come and attack it. He's going to try to come and get in the way. So when you know that you belong with Christ and God has given you favor, which means that he is going to work things out, which means that he's always making a way for you, the enemy gonna come in and he's not gonna like it because he ain't he's not for building the kingdom of God. He want to tear it down by tearing us down. So Mordecai heard all this news, okay, all these things about how the people was they wanted to destroy the Jew, but he did not waver in what he did. He didn't say, hey, hold on, king, I mean, hold on, Haman, Let me bow to you right quick. I changed my mind. He didn't change his mind. He stood in the values and he stood in his belief and he stood in something that he knew, even though he didn't share it. When you know something, you can stand in it. When we know that we know God and we know what God said and promises that he made to us, we can stand in it no matter how much the enemy is raging. God is calling us to stand in this season because it's something that God has put in us. It's something that he wants us to say. It's something that he wants us to do. It's some things, some places he wants us to take us. But in order for us to get there, we have to stand in what we know. And if we shaky on those things that we know, then we need to get to know them confidently so we can stand regardless of what the enemy is saying. So my question is, if you or if you are standing and you know that God is going to make a way for you, can you please like and comment on this video and speak life into your situation today? Because the enemy may rage, and we here saw it. Haman told everybody and sealed the note with the king's ring. Do you know what the fear that he was trying to instill into the people, the Jews, this fear that he was trying to instill into the people? Because one thing we knew about them is they like to make examples out of people. So don't be ashamed and don't be afraid to stand where God has made you free and stand where God has told you to stand, being obedient to God, because he will make a way. I ain't gonna say the rest of the story, what happened to Esther. But if you read Esther and this story is not new to you, you know where we're going with this. So if you're in a season where it's hard and you feel shaky, build those muscles up in your legs, get into your word, and stand in faith. And thank you so much for coming to Bible Talk Wednesday. I'm Pastor Quay. Like and subscribe to this video. If you like the video, let me know how you feeling. Let me know what season you're in. We want to hear your testimony so you may help someone else. Thank you so much, and God bless you.